So just keep it with TV, but we're also going to transition to movies, all right? Well, in this case, when I say TV, I mean Netflix, right? Huh. Uh, then we talk about the two popes, right? I remember this
Yeah.
being one of the shows that you wanted to see by year's end.
Right.
But yeah, we did get around to it. But like I
I don't
literally
find
like what?
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't find time. All I remember it was Boxing Day and my family was talking about it. They watched it, but I didn't see it yet.
Okay. Yeah, it was like leading it into Christmas, but
Right.
stuff happened, so I just didn't get around to watching it. But like I legit like checked it out before we even met up here.
Right.
So let's just to jump into what it's about, right? So this before well, one thing just to get out of the way, I didn't even know he was behind this. The director, Fernando Mariles. If I got the name wrong, forgive me, right?
Right.
But he is the director behind one of my all-time favorite movies. I imagine it's yours too, City of God.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I mean, I could go into detail about like why City of God started out so much to me, and just how it just impacted me. You know what I mean? It just did. But yeah, but because of that, like I never really caught up on anything else that he made. I believe he did a film called Blindness or something like that, but I heard
Okay.
that was kind of trash, something like that. But yeah,
I didn't see
I
it.
really didn't know anything. I didn't know what he was up to this point. So when I
Right.
saw his name at the very end, I was like, oh, okay, he did this. All right, cool. And it has like his own inflections to it in terms of edited, right? In terms of how
Yeah.
he
It's very.
transitions
It's
from
very.
scene to
Oh,
scene, how he uses archival footage from he will show a piece of footage and then follow that into a scene that looks almost similar. You know what I mean? Like he does that, which was
right.
something that he did very well in City of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So what it's about in a nutshell is that it centers on two characters, right? We have Pope Benedict the
16.
16th,
Yeah.
played by the great Sir Anthony Hopkins, and
Yeah.
we have Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Once again,
Roger.
forgive me if I get the name wrong. Played by Jonathan Pryce, right? And yes,
Right.
the
And
great Jonathan Pryce. He is
he
this
plays right.
Argentina. Yeah, he's this Argentinian, cardinal who is
Right.
well, he's basically the archbishop actually of
Yeah. The
Buenos
Archbishop.
Aires.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
a real
and
person. Yeah.
yeah, it's based on a true story. Well, inspired by true events, so that everything that happened in the show really happened, of course. Duh,
Right.
right? Yeah. So what happens is that he's called to Vatican City, and this is right after Pope John Paul II died, right?
Second.
And the
Yeah.
idea is that when they have to elect a new pope, so they end up picking Pope Benedict, right? And
Yeah.
people are like, well, yeah, we have a new pope. Some people are like, what I mean, but he's German. We don't like him. There's even one scene with some guy that's called him a Nazi. Like, wow.
Right. Well, that's in his actual history. He's not. Well, he's not a Nazi, but what happened is he was part of the Hitler Youth when he was starting 15 or something like that.
Oh, really? And the movie
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
not show this. Okay, but anyway, I'll get to that in a bit, right? So, yeah. So, so what happens is that, well, afterwards, well, like, let me just say about 6, 7 years later, they meet back up, actually. Well, he's called back, right? Well, the Pope calls him back. And essentially, they have like this nice little conversation. They talk about their ideals and stuff, being their place in the Catholic Church and, the faith in God and stuff like that. But
Right.
then, Benedict, well, the Pope now kind of drops the reason why he called him in the first place. It's like, well, he wants to resign, quote unquote.
Right.
He's
Well,
six.
no.
He
Well,
just kind of
yeah,
lose. So
at first it was he did it was Pope Francis wanted to resign. Well, he wasn't Pope Francis yet, but yeah, he wanted to resign from his post because he realized, well, he not going to be Pope. He didn't think he was ever going to be Pope because remember, you just go through your entire life, and that's a big sticking point there. And
right,
then
right, right.
B, uh, I forget why he wanted to resign again. He just kind of wanted to. Oh yeah, he kind of. Well, they address this later, but he was kind of racked with guilt and whatever it is, and they
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
why.
Over some past, sins, basically. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So he basically sees Cardinal Jorge as well a likely substitute for him now.
Right.
And even he even pitched the idea of just them kind of being two popes basically, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
All right.
while
So
so
if
while
you
Benedict is in the background, Jorge will
right,
be doing the pope stuff.
that was kind of the case when John Paul was there.
Oh,
Pope
okay.
Benedict was kind of running things for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so of Paul's right, John Paul's life now, because John Paul was kind of in intermittent, yeah, kind of out it,
Right.
in the end. In fact, he should have retired if it's anybody. But the
Right,
whole
right, right.
point is to retire, and we never had a retirement and blah 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 blah, and they get
Right,
into
right.
all of that,
Yeah.
right? So
But last things last, well, before we jump into our thoughts on the show, but we kind of well, they kind of show well through flashbacks, right? What led Jorge into becoming a cardinal in the first place, into becoming part of the
right,
Catholic Church, and it was not a smooth ride at all. You know what I mean? There was
yeah, yeah,
a lot of regret, a lot of pain. You know what I mean? Just a lot of bad things happened, not just to him but to his loved ones, you know what I mean? To the people that he
yeah,
knew, you know what I mean? The citizens actually in Buenos Aires at that time, you know what I mean? During like the 50s or 70s. And just all
right,
that guilt just racked up to him. Now. So it's like, well, I don't have what it takes, you know what I mean? So it's basically these characters, these two men kind of coming to terms with who they are as people, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, their fate and how long they've held on to it, and if it was really worth it in the end, right? So I'll leave it at
yeah,
that, and now we just jump into the review. Um, as far as a character piece goes, this movie is great. I
yeah, it's
love
great.
the attention to to character detail when it comes to these two
Yeah,
leads, right? Both Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce work so well with each other. I mean,
yeah.
they are
Well,
like
firstly,
thespians, right? So it's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
yeah,
firstly,
so it's easy.
yeah, firstly, the casting is pitch perfect.
Yes, yes, yes,
I thought
yes.
both of them are dead ringers for the real players. So
I know,
I
right?
thought it was great, especially Jonathan Bryce.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everybody's kind of joke actually for a long time, and yeah, so said so done. So you say, hey, Jonathan Bryce could totally play the Pope now, that kind of thing.
yeah. And
And
you know what? As I mentioned that too, it's kind of funny too because in Game of Thrones he was this religious character who
exactly
he had
right,
the cult and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, I
right,
know how to play religious folk too. Don't worry.
right, exactly. Yeah, for a long time people was making that joke. So yeah, they finally did it, and it was great. Yeah, I thought it was great. The two of them had good chemistry. It's a surprisingly funny film.
It is. It
A
is.
lot of great humor back and forth, little small moments, little funny character moments they did in the beginning when they would meet each other and clashing off, and then it funny they're making joke off each other, and then it gets serious.
Yeah,
And a lot of great use of camera work of when because the Verite style is surprisingly effective for this.
it
Um,
was. I would say at first it kind of threw me off because like, okay,
right.
why do you use this style here so much? Like I
Right. And,
understand
and I'm,
we're going back from archival footage to here, but I'm not sure with the Verity style why it's used. But then as I got more and more into the story, it's like, okay, it's working now, especially the more
yeah,
dramatic moments where the camera will be a little close to the ground or close to the character's chest. Like in one scene where, you know what I mean, like they just kind of talking down, not really talking down to each other, but like he says something and it kind of in disagreement now. It's almost like they hanging down their heads and the camera just with them now.
right. Yeah,
So
no,
as the
it,
story, as the movie goes along, it's like, okay, this style working for me. The camera
yeah,
style.
yeah. It had some pretty smart shot choices because they had like I noticed the shot choices fit the mood as well. So like when they not when they first met, when they met the second time when he called them back. Remember he said he didn't want them to retire, so he had to
Yeah.
come in person to make the case. And then he was kind of basically making the point of him not wanting to step on his toes. But then he finally kind of opened up about the whole sex scandal thing, and you could see the camera
Yes.
started to get really shaky and jittery to fit the mood now. How
Yes. Yes.
serious.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's little choices. They made a lot of smart choices with that. I thought it flowed well. Again, genuinely hilarious, but then it is a good character back and forth, great chemistry between the two of them. And then,
Yeah.
after the first hour, they went into to Francis's backstory, and I thought this was by far the most effective part of the story. And I was like,
It
this
was
whole film
right.
is about him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. 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 Which here's the thing. So I do get why they do that. I mean, it's a very like powerful section, a very poignant section in it.
yeah,
Um, Even though like, well, for me personally, I just wish that I knew about the history behind all that stuff. Like, I wish probably if I
right.
went in just
Yeah.
knowing the stuff, because they don't stop to explain everything. Even though
Nah. Well, no,
you have
they
Auntie
just
Hopkins
you.
narration basically, but what happens is that they just show you enough for you to understand. Okay, this is what's going
Right.
on, but it's not about what it's not about Buenos Aires. It's about Jonathan Price's character, what he
Right.
went through, what he's seen. So you just kind of seen it in short bursts, but it's enough for you to be like,
Right.
okay, now I understand where you're coming from.
So I recommend the video. I recommend look up a fella called he's a kind of left wing YouTuber fella. He kind of gets into the history of what Argentina was up to in the 70s. And this is by outsiders, it's known as the Argentine Dirty War, but it's not really a war. It was a pretty one-sided affair.
Right.
But look up a fella called Bad Empanada, and he has a great breakdown of he's an Argentine, I think, and he had a great breakdown of what went down. And he talks about some famous movies as well that contextualize the entire situation. So you're probably familiar with the official story.
I've heard of it, but I never saw it.
Is that the Argentine film I think came out in 1985, and that was about that. And it had a couple other stories that was more biting and more serious. But yeah, he breaks down the entire history of all the bullshit that went down. Yeah, it's some real dark shit. But it made it the film. Now it's debatable how much the film whitewashes Francis in this, because Francis really was a divisive figure because of this. It's some people even go as far as saying that he actively sell out people and whatnot. And this doesn't do that. This says no, you try to save as many people as you can. He compromised and capitulated.
Yes.
Right. That's a good back and forth about the cool compromising thing. And
but I love how they but I love how they turn that in from from tragedy to triumph, because now he started to work with the people a lot more, be closer with the citizens.
He was clearly influenced by the priest who went. So in Argentina, he had what we call liberation theology, and so those priests took the side. Effectively, the priests took the side of the leftists. So they cater to the poor and whatnot. But yeah, they get robbed out. And that was a great moment actually when the guy came back and he was alive now. He hugged him up in the end, and I thought that was a great moment.
Yeah, that was lovely actually. Yeah. But what I say, so this little nitpick, right? This nitpicky stuff. But because he spent so much time on Jonathan Pryce's character, what his backstory. Right. I was hoping that they would say, okay, now that you said your story, let me say my story. Let me tell you my backstory. They didn't do that, right? Yeah. But I thought at least when you mentioned the thing with the scandal, I thought we'd at least get a little bit closer into what was burdening him.
Right. The thing is, I thought they would do the Hitler Youth thing. Personally, I was actually expecting that, but it didn't. Because Ratzadell's life wasn't anywhere near as interesting as Francis's life. Let's admit that.
Oh, okay.
I thought, because the thing is, the people who had the real interesting life is Pope John Paul II. He had a super disturbing life in his early life, because there's a reason that he's very heavily anti-communist. Like, let's say that. I don't expect anything from there. So it's really a Pope Francis movie, if anything, I'll say. It heavily linked him. But because he is the more interesting figure anyway, it works. For it is.
And because sorry, go on.
Yeah, I understand your point, though. I really thought they could have done his side of things, of what he going through, whatever it is. But that would have been so far behind in terms of his career. Like he's living in lap of luxury for a long time, so it's fine.
Right. But to the show's defense, though, at least with the title being what it is, at least you got that relationship, well, at least that friendship, if you want to call it that. Exactly. Well, I should say understanding between these two guys, right? I thought that really worked. Also love how how the show portrays them as well, because some people might just look at them like, oh, they're so high and holy, but they're human, just like us, right? I love how the show kind of zeroed in. They're human. They have doubts, they have fears, they have worries. They do things that we do too. So don't think because they're in high, a high status that they don't relate to stuff that we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they had a lot of great little moments in it. Like they had I swear, okay, I don't know if I know him a jazz piano. But the guy on the television he was watching, maybe he was talking about piano, and I swear that was Kenny Gamble they had. Is somebody
okay, well, I don't know who the guy was. On the subject of that, like before that section, there was this Austrian TV show with a dog, some dog. I was wondering if that was real or if they make that.
I think it's a real show, I think it's a real show. Little things like and then, again, it's a very funny show. It had little moments like the part where he's praying with the pizza. Very funny moment.
And I just love how they just like, I mean, they're old, right? So it's just like, you know what? I just feel it to do this. I walk in, I have my smartwatch on, stuff like that.
Right.
It's like, they're old people.
Yeah,
I mean,
funny.
like, come on, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of little who's on first type confusion type statements. So like when you tell him Abbey Road, I say, oh, the
Yes.
Abbey. It's like, yeah, little stuff like that because you don't know anything about like pop culture now.
Yeah,
Whilst
it's
he
like,
was
oh, ABBA. Oh, okay. ABBA, right.
stuff like that for the Beatles, and he say Yellow Submarine, say Yellow Submarine, what? And then
Yeah,
that's
that's a stupid name.
right. All these little moments. It's great. But it humanizes them, and it's very surprisingly humanistic for what it is though.
It is, it is. And this
I,
last thing I want to say before we get to rating. And I mean, I know some people might look at the show and be like, oh, well, this is gonna be some, some holy, be some Catholic propaganda piece. Like, no, not really. It's just like just taking, just well, you may not know the people themselves, but you know the position, you know their influence on the world and culture like that. But just
right.
humanize them, making you understand that yes, they are like us. Do they may not
Yeah.
we can
Is
kind of
it
relate to them in a way. That's what I say.
right?
You
Yeah,
mean that you
is it
don't have to support them. You don't have to
right?
suddenly become a Catholic because of the show. But no, it's just like I want to understand you and where you're coming from. Okay, now I get it. Okay, cool. That's
Right.
it. Yeah.
I mean, is it a puff piece for Francis? A little bit. It feels like that. At times, but I still thought it told a really genuinely touching story, and then the ending is hilarious and well done. That
It
piece
is.
with
It is. I was gonna say, yeah. The
yeah,
ending is funny
really
and is gorgeous at the same time too. It will just
right.
leave you with a smile on your face. Like I had
Yeah,
a smile on my face while I was watching that sorry that end credit scene. It was
yeah,
so nice, Trent. You know what I mean? But it worked in terms of like what the story was about.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. It totally works. It says the World Cup, Germany and Argentina. It's like, oh yeah, right, and they'll be watching it together. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, and
Yeah.
that's funny,
And
and
points to the music that you used for that sequence though, beautiful. I love it. It just
right.
fit that scene perfectly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great editing, great framing. It mostly worked for what it was. I get us a pretty high score. I get us like a 9 out of 10. I actually really liked it for what it was.
All right. Cool.
It,
Cool.
it yeah, it was a smart script. They focused on some of the right parts. I really, again, the only issue is that they could have focused a little more on Ratzinger history if you're making this two popes thing. But I get what they was trying to go for, and it worked for the most part.
Yeah. All right. Well, for me, I give this a strong 4 out of 5. This would not have made my best of this. This would have been an honorable mention. And to
Right.
be honest, I don't see myself watching this in a hurry. But that's just to say, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
But at the
that's
same
not
time,
much.
but what thanks to the show now, I want to learn more about these two guys. I want to learn more about, being Argentinian history. Especially with what went on.
Yeah.
But I wish going in that I knew as much as this stuff. It's especially in terms of like, well, the history of the Catholic Church, Pope John Paul and stuff like that. Like, I'm not too, knowledgeable about those things. So I wish going in that I knew these things, but it doesn't matter because you have great chemistry between the two leads. I mean, great performances from the two, and just a great story and well written script and some smart
Right.
edited choices and smart camera choices as well too. Um, it's not a feel good movie. I mean, it's not
Oh
that,
yeah.
but it's still a good movie. Like a movie could just
No,
kind of rock. I could just
I thought
kind of
I
vibe to. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I thought it would be real positive until they hit you that Argentine dirty war stuff and like, oh shit, they going here with it? Well, would.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
And last I would say though, you know what I mean, as much praise as we give it this thing, uh, I I think at the end of the day it was a smart choice to put this on Netflix because
Right.
I think the only way you would have seen this theatrically is if it had some kind of Oscar buzz surrounded it. Outside of that, I don't
Well,
think anybody
yeah,
would have gone to see this.
I'm
Well, I mean, okay, well, it's Anthony Hopkins. Wow, all right, but what I mean, it's Anthony Hopkins. I mean, he's not as big as he was, say, in the 90s and 2000s. He's a great
not
actor just from cultural osmosis, right? But still,
right.
like, I don't think this would have made a big impact, like, theatrically, but having it on
Right.
Netflix, you know what I mean, so you could kind of check it out whenever. I think that was like the perfect call in my opinion. Not to say that it's a terrible movie and it wouldn't have worked if you saw it on big screen,
Yeah.
but yeah, this kind of deserved to be on Netflix, in my opinion.
Right.